Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Foreman, and this is the Roberts 3DF. This board started out as the Roberts Diamond Fish, which also had this double diamond tail coming out the back of the board, and obviously a much more conventional fish nose. Then Roberts started to get a lot of requests for a shortened board, or like what people would call a chop nose board. And so he started with the diamond fish and that double diamond tail, and then brought the board down in length through taking that nose off and then bringing everything in on the board. What are the benefits of a design like this? We talked a lot about the benefits of bringing down the width of the board in the Roberts Modern Gem review. And so if you want to go to that review and look at that and listen to what bringing down the width is going to do, that is also happening in this board. Because if you look at this board, first of all, you notice that it's relatively short. I mean, this board, for how much volume is in the board, this board is 6.0 and just over 20 inches wide. And so typically when you're at 6.0 by 20, you're looking at like 32 liters, 33 liters, maybe 34 liters, where this board has 38.25 liters. So it packs in another 4 to 6 liters in a board that's the same length. And so, and also by not making, you could make a 6-foot board that's that many liters, but it's going to be really wide and it's going to have a lot of rail curve in it, and all of those things are going to make the board slow. And so by keeping the length down and the width moderate, what it does is it allows the board to still go rail to rail really fast. And then also by not putting a ton of rail curve in the board, by keeping the board relatively parallel in the outline, all of those things, the flat rocker, the straighter outline, and then the extra volume, help the board really get up to speed. So it's going to work in about the same surf that a Roberts Diamond Fish works in, but it's going to be much more efficient as far as generating that speed down the line, fitting in tight places just because the board is shorter, and also going incredibly fast. The rocker on these boards is relatively flat from the nose out the tail. There's a little bit of tail flip in it, but as far as catching waves, gliding across flat spots, or just generating speed, it's a really good combination to have the parallel outline, to have the flatter rocker, and then to have that wider tail to push on. Looking at the width of the board, like, so how can they make a 6-foot board and have it be that high in volume but not have it be incredibly wide? And the reason being is that on most boards that are really wide, they're really wide for only a limited amount of their length. This board carries a lot of its width. If you're looking at the outline, it carries it from the widest point, obviously, but also really far forward, and then also really far back. So that's how you get away with a narrower width, is by just carrying it further forward and further back in the board. And by having that outline, you get better speed, you're getting less resistance of the water having to go around the board, but then you're also getting more drive out of that same length rail as well. Things that you're going to notice on this board that are very Roberts-esque are that rolled rail up front that he has on all of his boards, but he also even has it on the front of the nose, right here, coming into the front of the nose. The double diamond tail, which has always been a great performer and just aesthetically looks really good on the diamond fish, is on the back of this board as well. So you've got a lot of angular things going on back here. And then 5-fin setup, riding this board either as a thruster or a quad, depending on your preference and depending on the surf. So it's the 3DF from Roberts. It's, you know, a lot of people are riding the Tomos, they're riding different boards that look like this, and you're starting to see other shapers build boards, whether it be a similar tail, you look at like the Lost Weekend Warrior, or if you look at this board, meaning like with a shorter nose or a chop down nose, there's other shapers getting into it and doing their own spin on that style of board. This board takes a lot from that, but then also you can see it takes a lot from what Roberts has been known doing with the rolled rails, with his rocker lines. I would say a little bit more outline curve than some of the super straight chop nose boards, which is going to give you a little bit better low speed rolling in and out of the turns. But having this board be catered towards that fish style wave that you'd be used to using a Roberts Diamond Fish on. So it's called the Roberts 3DF, and it's basically a triple diamond. You got the double diamond in the tail, and you got the single diamond in the nose. If you have any more questions about this board, you can call us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or you can check it out on our website, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.